how to track your progress. All right, guys, so we want to track our progress in the 8-week challenge, okay? If you start seeing progress, that's going to help motivate you to keep going. All right, so first off, taking before and after photos. I know the thought of this is probably very daunting to someone who's just starting out. I know it is even for me. When I've gone on bulk for too long, all right, I don't want to take that before photo, but you'll thank yourself greatly if you do take the before photo because it's going to help you see progress. What I'd recommend is just taking a photo front on, standing in front of the mirror, just with minimal clothing on. Remember, no one's got to see this except yourself. We're going to go front on, side on, and then back. So just 3 photos. And I would recommend taking a progress photo at the very least once when you first start the challenge and then once at the end of the 8 weeks. For myself, I will generally take a photo once a week or so if I'm going through a phase of where I'm trying to get leaner, because every week or 2 weeks, you might see some minimal progress, and anything that's going to motivate you to keep going, I think is good. So yeah, taking before and after photos. Next thing is taking measurements. So I think measurements is another good indicator of change, because sometimes just looking at the scales, you don't know if you've lost fat, you've lost muscle, you've gained fat, gained muscle. With measurements, this gives us a better indication, okay? So first off, I would recommend doing a measurement around the smallest part of your stomach. So just standing up around the very smallest part, take a measurement. I'd also recommend taking a measurement right around your butt, so around your glutes, through the biggest point of your glutes. I'd also recommend doing a measurement halfway between your elbow and shoulder, so around the biggest part of your arm. And then also one more measurement right under your butt, on the biggest point of your leg, right there. So I think those measurements will be more than enough for most people. Look, you can do measurements everywhere. You can do them around your chest and wherever else you want to. They're the main ones I'd focus on. And in particular, I think ones around the waist, you're gonna see the most change in. Maybe in the legs as well, depending on where people hold their weight. So taking measurements, I would recommend doing this at the very most once a week. You could do it every 2 weeks, or again, you could just do it at the start of the challenge and at the end of the challenge. Another good indication, like if your goal is fitness related and it's not so much like appearance or aesthetic or weight loss, weight gain, you can do a fitness test. So whatever your goal is, you can test for that. So what we do when we first take on a new client is we'll get them to do a few things like see how many push-ups they can do, or see how many chin-ups they can do, or how long they can hold a plank for, or a wall sit. So this is one sort of fitness test you could do. Or if you like running, you could do a running fitness test, something like the beep test, or you could see how quickly you can run 1 kilometer, or how far you can run without stopping, and then try again at the end of the 8 weeks. Or again, you can do this test every week if you want to, every 2 weeks. It's totally up to you. As I mentioned with the other tests, you want to do it as a minimum at the very start of the challenge and then one at the very end of the challenge, okay? I think doing as a minimum, see how many push-ups you can do at the start and see how many push-ups you can do at the end. Same with a plank and a wall sit, because I know those sort of things you're really going to improve on by doing these workouts. All right, next one is weigh-ins. So with weigh-ins, I would only recommend weighing yourself once a week at the very most, and at the same time of the day. So first thing on a Monday morning or first thing on a Friday morning, before you eat or drink anything, with just very minimal clothing on, just to give an accurate reading. If you weigh yourself every day, your weight's going to fluctuate heaps, and it might be demoralizing if one day your weight's heavier than the last day, okay? So doing it once a week, over time, you just want to see that downward trend. Another thing you can do to track your progress if you want to take it up a notch is you could get a body scan. So wherever you're living in the world, I'm sure there's going to be places around where you can do body scans, and this will give you a full analysis of your body fat, your muscle, water, everything. People have got mixed opinions about body scans, but I think as long as they're consistent, even if they're not 100% accurate, as long as they're consistent, I think it's a great way to track your progress as well. Obviously, you don't need to do a body scan. Doing all this is going to make a really big difference. So make sure you do at least something from each of these categories, and you're going to get good results after 8 weeks if you stick to everything.